Most people are brainwashed when it comes to money. Go to school, get a job, work hard.
Money is a tricky thing. It's essential and we all need it. But no one really talks about the myths that are holding us back from actually getting it. Earning money today is completely different from how it used to be. And the secrets that once worked for people aren't working for today's economy and are just myths now. You've probably heard things like, you need to be born rich, or only high earners get ahead. But are they really true? What if I told you these money myths are the very reason you're stuck in the cycle of struggle, working harder without getting anywhere? In this video, we're going to break down the most common myths about money, the truth behind them, and how changing your mindset can actually help you build the wealth you've been chasing.
Every day that you save your money in the bank, you are slowly becoming poorer each and every day, and most of us never see it happen.
Number 1, you should always save 20% of your income. If you've scrolled the internet, it's hard to never have seen the popular 50-30-20 rule. It calls for 50% of your income to go towards meeting your necessities, 30% towards your wants, and the rest of the 20% into savings and/or investments. It's almost like a sacred finance mantra. Now, it may sound like genuinely good financial advice, but here's the thing. It's not always realistic for everyone. It has a solid catch too. This approach assumes everyone has the same financial situation, which couldn't be further from the truth. Depending on your income, expenses, and financial goals, saving 20% might be too much, too little, or just right. Think about it. If you're living in an expensive city, dealing with student loans, or struggling with high living costs, saving 20% can feel impossible. On the flip side, if you're earning a solid income, 20% might not be enough to reach your financial goals as fast as you'd like. The truth is, there's no magic number that fits everyone. Recent data indicates that many individuals struggle to meet the 20% savings benchmark. As of November 2024, the personal saving rate in the United States was 4.4%. which, as you can tell, is way below the suggested 20%. So I guess there is a level of unrealistic expectations at play here. It means that people are simply not able to put away 20% of their income into a savings account. It's not just a matter of discipline, it's math. If most of your income goes to rent and groceries, where will the 20% come from? Another survey found that 1 in 4 Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. The survey found that 32% of Gen Z respondents had less than $1,000 in savings, followed by millennials at 31%, Gen X at 27%, and baby boomers at 20%. No matter what category you fall in, you can take a grip on your financial steering wheel and bring your life on track. How? By taking some actionable steps. Start by understanding your own finances. Track where your money goes for a month. Sometimes, simply seeing your spending habits can inspire change. If 20% feels too much, aim for 5% or even 10%. What matters more than the number is consistency. Automate your savings so it's out of sight and out of mind. Little by little, you'll build a habit, and before you know it, you might hit that 20% mark without even noticing. And hey, don't just stash your money in a low-interest savings account. Look into high-yield savings accounts, or start learning about investments. Your money can work harder for you. Number 2, crypto is a guaranteed path to wealth. If you've not heard about cryptocurrency, you are probably under a rock. But maybe living under there is safer? Probably. We've all heard the buzz, crypto is a guaranteed path to wealth. Sounds enticing, and looking at people gaining massive profits off of trading crypto coins, it does seem too good to be true. But let's pump the brakes for a second. While cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum have made headlines for their meteoric rises, they're also notorious for their dramatic falls. The crypto craze isn't that old. Cryptocurrencies burst into the investing mainstream in 2017 as the values of some virtual coins and tokens skyrocketed, led by Bitcoin. And honestly, with stories of Bitcoin turning early investors into millionaires, it's easy to see why people believe it. But let's be real. Crypto isn't some magical money machine. While it can make you rich, it can also leave you broke and wondering what just happened. Why? Volatility. Here's the deal. Bitcoin, the king of crypto, has had some wild rides. In 2024, it shot up by over 120%, fueled by political buzz and hopes for favorable regulations. Some experts even predicted it could hit $400,000. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, don't celebrate just yet. Those same experts also said it could just as easily crash back to $70,000. That's the thing with crypto. It's unpredictable. One minute you're on top of the world, and the next, you're watching your portfolio evaporate. Bill Gates called Bitcoin a technological tour de force, which is fancy talk for saying it's cool, but not necessarily reliable as an investment. And Warren Buffett? He famously called it rat poison squared. Ouch. His reasoning? Bitcoin doesn't produce anything. So it's hard to argue it has any real, intrinsic value. A survey by the North American Securities Administrators Association named crypto as the top investment threat back in 2022. Why? Because it's unregulated and riddled with scams. Speaking of regulation, Rostin Behnam, the former chair of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, warned that the $3 trillion crypto market was a ticking time bomb without proper oversight, fraud, market manipulation, you name it. Crypto's got it. If you're itching to invest in crypto, treat it like the high-stakes gamble it is. Don't throw in your life savings. Diversify your investments. Stocks, real estate, and even plain old cash are still solid bets. Only put in what you can afford to lose and do your research. Stay skeptical of anyone promising guaranteed returns. Remember, in the world of money, guaranteed is usually a red flag. But looking at this chart, the number of cryptocurrency owners has only increased every single year. People need to understand that sometimes trading crypto coins can become a greed loop, and before you know it, you've even invested your savings into this highly unstable market. What you need to do is listen to real experts and watch the global news, because that's how you will start to make connections and take your crypto decisions wisely. Number 3. Everyone should quit their job to start a business. Yes, it's true that a large number of millionaires have gained this status due to their business ventures, but it's also true that not everyone should be doing that. Every motivational speaker on YouTube is rallying for starting your own business, but before you draft that resignation letter, let's slow down and look at some cold, hard facts. First off, the startup world isn't all unicorns and rainbows. In fact, about 90% of startups fail. Yeah, you heard that right. 90%. Look around you. That restaurant that opened a few months ago, why has something else replaced it? Your favorite influencer launched a product of their own. Where did that disappear? According to a survey, 40% of businesses fail within the first 3 years, 49.9% within 5 years, 65.8% within 10 years, 73.3% within 15 years, and nearly 80% within 20 years. Told you, doing business isn't that simple. So, if you're thinking of starting a business to escape the monotony of your 9 to 5, just remember, the entrepreneurial path is more of a roller coaster than a walk in the park. Now let's talk about job satisfaction. You might think being your own boss automatically means higher job satisfaction. And sure, self-employed folks often report higher levels of job satisfaction compared to their traditionally employed counterparts. A Pew Research Center survey found that 62% of self-employed workers are extremely or very satisfied with their jobs, compared to 51% of those who aren't self-employed. But to be blatantly honest, not everyone has the guts to survive the self-employment journey. With great power comes great responsibility. In the beginning, being the boss means you're also the accountant, the marketer, and sometimes even the janitor. It's not all glamorous board meetings and visionary speeches. And if you have employees who work for you, you have to respect their abilities too. Some say that it's harder to get someone else to get the job done than to do it yourself. You can't stay a one-person business forever. You need to expand in order for your business to grow, and that opens up Pandora box of difficulties. Financial stability is another biggie. A steady paycheck provides security that entrepreneurship can't always guarantee. Starting a business often requires significant upfront investment, and there's no promise of immediate returns. In fact, many entrepreneurs don't pay themselves in the early stages, leading to financial strain. Plus, benefits like health insurance and retirement plans, those are on you now. It's said that even if you want to quit your job to look for another, you must have at least 6 months of funds to sustain your expenses and lifestyle, because landing a new job isn't guaranteed. And then if you are quitting to enter entrepreneurship, then you are basically investing all that savings into starting it up. There are alternative options, such as creating an online-based business, which reduces the startup costs significantly, although it's worth remembering that it is still a risk. And usually, where there is no risk, there is no reward. So, what's the takeaway? While starting a business can be incredibly rewarding, it's not a guaranteed ticket to success or happiness. It requires careful planning, a solid understanding of the risks involved, and a whole lot of grit. If you're passionate about an idea and ready to embrace the challenges, go for it. But don't feel pressured to leave your job just because entrepreneurship is often glamorized. Number 4, you need a lot of money to start investing. How much money is enough money? It's a question that has a different answer for everyone. And how much money can you take out to start investing? Let's see. Many people are told by either their parents or friends that they can't invest because they don't have enough money. It's like being locked out of a game everyone else is playing. But here's the surprise. The rules of investing have completely changed, and you don't need a fortune to get started anymore. In fact, you can begin with the loose change in your pocket. Thanks to modern investing platforms, starting small has never been easier. Apps like Acorns, Robinhood, and Fidelity allow you to invest with as little as $1. Fractional shares let you own pieces of big-name stocks like Tesla or Google without needing hundreds or thousands of dollars. It's like sharing a pizza, where a slice can grow into a whole pie over time. So, the idea that investing is reserved for the wealthy? Completely outdated. Now, let's make this practical. Say you can spare $10 a week. That might sound small, but over a year, that's $520. Invested in a diversified index fund, which has historically returned about 8% annually, and watch what happens in 20 or 30 years. Compounding works like magic. Its growth is on top of growth. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to multiply. One thing every parent should think about doing is setting up their kids for financial success. It's the best thing that you can do for your kids. And looking at how bad the financial situation is right now, who knows how it will be when your kid reaches maturity? Ever heard of 529 plans? These are tax-advantaged accounts for education savings. Every dollar you contribute grows tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified expenses, like college tuition, come without a tax bill. If your kids earn money from summer jobs, you can even open a custodial Roth IRA for them. These accounts have grown tax-free for decades, turning small contributions into major retirement funds. The key is to take action. Open an account, automate small deposits, and stay consistent. Start with what you can afford, even if it's just a few bucks. Over time, those small amounts add up and put you on the path to financial freedom. Number 5, credit cards will get you through any financial crisis. Imagine one day your car breaks down on a rainy day, and the repair bill is sky high. Or maybe your fridge decides to quit, leaving you scrambling to replace it. In these moments, pulling out a credit card feels like a lifesaver. And while it's tempting to think credit cards are the ultimate financial safety net, relying on them for emergencies can quickly backfire. Credit cards surely seem a convenience, but they're not a long-term solution. A recent Bankrate survey revealed that 36% of US adults have more credit card debt than emergency savings. Now, this isn't a good trend, and many people are turning to high-interest borrowing instead of having cash reserves for crises. To understand more, let's talk numbers for a moment. The average credit card interest rate as of January 2025 is a staggering 24.37%. That means if you put a $1,000 car repair on your card and only make minimum payments, you could end up paying hundreds in interest. It's like digging yourself into a financial hole while trying to climb out of an emergency. Adding to the concern, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York reported that about 8.9% of credit card balances became delinquent over the past year. This growing delinquency rate suggests that many are struggling to keep up with payments, leading to damaged credit scores and financial stress. So, what's the alternative? Start building an emergency fund. Even setting aside $20 a week can add up to over $1,000 in a year. This cushion can cover unexpected expenses without the burden of high-interest debt. Financial experts also recommend keeping 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses in a savings account for bigger emergencies. Number 6. Money doesn't grow on trees. You've probably heard it a million times. Money doesn't grow on trees. But let's be real for a second. This phrase is pretty outdated. In today's world, money can grow in a lot of places, especially when you've got the right tools and knowledge at your disposal. The internet, side hustles, and new technology have created tons of opportunities to make money from home. And it's not nearly as difficult as people used to think. Think about it. You don't need to be a millionaire to make a living today. People are earning money in ways that didn't even exist a few decades ago. From freelance work to digital businesses, there are countless ways to bring in cash without stepping outside your front door. Take content creators, for example. Social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok allow people to turn their passions into paychecks. In fact, According to a 2023 survey by the Influencer Marketing Hub, 55% of content creators said they made money directly from social media platforms, some earning thousands a month. And it's not just influencers making money online. Many people are exploring side gigs like online tutoring, writing, or graphic design. Websites like Fiverr, Upwork, and Freelancer let you advertise your skills and get paid for projects. No offices are required. A study by FlexJobs found that 73% of US workers have turned to freelance work in some capacity, and the gig economy has exploded in recent years. You can literally work from anywhere, as long as you have a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. So if we consider every money-making gig as a tree, then you've got a whole big forest where money literally grows. Even more traditional industries are moving online. For example, e-commerce is thriving, and platforms like Shopify or Etsy allow people to sell handmade goods, dropshipping products, or even digital downloads without ever leaving home. To develop the mindset that money is everywhere and available to be earned, you need to start seeing it as a tool, not some rare treasure. Instead of stressing over how hard it is to get money, realize that there are tons of ways to make it if you're open to looking. The key here is shifting from thinking money is scarce to money is abundant. Then you believe there's plenty to go around. You start spotting opportunities everywhere. It could be side gigs, freelancing, selling stuff online, or even picking up new skills that pay off. Research shows people who think in terms of abundance tend to take more action and stick with it longer, which is a major advantage when trying to earn money. The other thing is that money follows value. If you're solving problems or helping people, money's gonna flow your way. Whether you're doing something small, like offering a service, or diving into something big, like creating an online course, there's always demand. Number 7, I'm too young to think about retirement. When we're young, it's easy to feel like the future is a lifetime away. Life is full of new experiences, and we're often more focused on living in the moment than planning for the years ahead. Plus, a large number of people, about 55% of 18 to 34-year-olds, are still under the safety net of their parents. This makes them feel like they have plenty of time to think about things like money and retirement. But here's the thing, this mindset can come back to bite them. When you're young, it feels like you don't need to think about things like saving for retirement because it's so far off. But that's the trap. The earlier you start saving and investing, the more time your money has to grow. If you wait, you miss out on the power of compound interest, which can turn small amounts of money into something big over time. If you don't start saving and investing for retirement, you could be in for a tough ride down the road. Without putting money away for the future, you'll likely rely on Social Security, which isn't enough for most people to live comfortably. The average Social Security payment as of January 2025 is $1,976 a month. Definitely not enough to cover all your expenses if you want to enjoy your retirement years. And for countries that don't give such benefits to their citizens, it becomes even more important to start building your retirement fund early on. Waiting to save means you'll have to put away more later, and that's a lot harder. Plus, if you don't start early, you miss out on compound interest, where your money grows over time. On top of that, there's the health aspect. As you get older, medical bills can quickly add up. Without a solid retirement fund, paying for healthcare could drain your savings. Plus, with rising healthcare costs, not having enough saved up could leave you stuck with limited options, especially if you want to live comfortably in your later years. The myths we discussed today need to be addressed if we want to make better financial choices. I hope this video helped shed light on some of those misconceptions and gave you a fresh perspective. Remember, taking control of your finances today is the first step toward a secure tomorrow. If you liked the video, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon in another one.